As soon as I turned 18, my mother made a decision that changed the course of my life. She kicked me out. With only 400 quid to my name, I was left to navigate the harsh realities of the world alone. According to her, this was her way of teaching me a lesson, one that she believed would force me to struggle just as she did in her youth. What she didn't realize, however, was that her decision would push me toward an unexpected fate, one filled with success, love, and financial security beyond her wildest imagination. Surviving on my own. Homeless and desperate, I spent the first few weeks couch surfing with friends. I managed to secure a job at a fast food outlet, barely making ends meet. The wages were meager, and the uncertainty of my future weighed heavily on me. But despite the difficulties, I refused to succumb to despair. I had always been academically inclined, and I knew that education was my ticket out of this life. So, I took a leap of faith. I applied to university and took out a loan to fund my studies. The strained relationship with my mother. Strangely enough, I still kept in touch with my mother, though our interactions were never pleasant. Whenever I mentioned my plans for higher education, she would scoff at me, dismissing my dreams as foolish. One email in particular, sent at 3 a.m., remains seared into my memory. In it, she ranted about how university was nothing but a playground for the rich, an exclusive club where I would never belong. Her words stung, but instead of discouraging me, they fueled my determination even further. Eventually, I stopped updating her on my life. I realized that no matter what I did, she would never be my cheerleader. She wanted me to fail, to struggle, to validate her belief that life was meant to be an endless uphill battle. But I refused to let her narrative define me. Finding love and unexpected wealth. University was a turning point in my life. I met incredible people, gained invaluable knowledge, and, most importantly, met my now partner. At first, they seemed like any other student, living in shared housing, shopping at discount supermarkets, and navigating student life just like the rest of us. There was no air of entitlement, no arrogance. It wasn't until years later, as we planned our wedding, that I discovered their true financial background. They came from wealth, a level of wealth I had never imagined. But what made them different from the stereotypes my mother had drilled into my mind was that they were kind, down-to-earth, and hardworking. Their upbringing had not made them complacent or indifferent. Instead, they were generous, compassionate, and eager to build a future with me, not based on their money but on mutual respect and love. A life my mother never knew about. I never told my mother about my marriage. By the time she passed away a few years ago, she still believed I was a naive liberal with a useless degree. The irony. She too had a degree and had worked in finance. Yet, she refused to acknowledge that education could be a powerful tool for transformation. Had she lived long enough, she would have been shocked to learn that I now hold a PhD and work full-time in my country's public health department. And for those who might assume I became a wealthy housewife sipping matcha and doing Pilates all day, think again. I built a life I am immensely proud of, one that is fulfilling in ways my mother could never have foreseen. Lessons learned. In the end, my mother did teach me a lesson, just not the one she intended. She thought she was setting me up for failure, but instead she propelled me toward a life of independence, achievement, and love. Her tough love might have been misguided, but it inadvertently became the catalyst for my success. Life has a funny way of working out. Sometimes the people who doubt us the most end up pushing us toward greatness. And for that, in a strange and unexpected way, I am grateful. If this story resonated with you, remember that change begins with small steps. Share this with someone who needs hope, and never forget your inner strength. Sparkling Heart. Sparkling Heart, if you enjoyed this story and found it inspiring, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Glowing Star, your support means the world to us and helps us create more content to inspire and uplift you. Bell, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Thank you for being part of our community. Smiling face with smiling eyes.